Hello, everyone, and welcome today. I'm Deron Newman. I wanted to talk to you today about what is a philosopher. Now, I first initially thought about this subject as what is philosophy. In fact, that's the way I usually talk about it with my students when I enter a class for those who have never taken a philosophy course, especially from me. I like to give us a definition of the course we're taking. But for us today, I wanted to go directly into it to make it very personal and not just simply talk about philosophy, but what is a philosopher? And own that deeply within our hearts, our minds, our lives. But I wanted to do it in a different way today, rather than just simply talk to you and describe a philosopher and kind of go on about our merry way. I wanted something that was really important. I want to speak to you from my heart. There's a way and there is a technique that early theologians used when describing the divine. And it was called the via negativa. It means the way of the negative. And here's the way that it works. You begin by talking about what something is not to reach what something is. Interesting, isn't it? So for the divine, if the divine is our subject and we're trying to discover what the divine is, we talk about what the divine is not and work essentially backwards. But it offers a contrast. And with that contrast is something very powerful that erupts in our minds and our souls that I want to speak to you today about. So what is a philosopher not? Who is not a philosopher? Let me show you that individual. A philosopher is not a person who does not like to question or wonder. If you meet a person that does not like to question or wonder, and I'm sure that you're not, else you wouldn't be here with me today, that person is not a philosopher. If they are a person who does not love the aspect of wonder, they are not a philosopher. If they are a person who lets everyone decide upon what they should be doing in their life, they're not a philosopher. And if they are bound and do not wish to live a life of freedom and wildness and the appreciation thereof, I'm sorry, that person has become not aware of the philosophical spirit that lies within them, and they are no longer a philosopher. But I'm going to tell you straight off at the very beginning here, as we get into this, that you and I are born philosophers simply because we are born human. And I'm going to tell you why I love being a philosopher and recognizing that spirit within me, and why I want to encourage and inspire you to recognize that philosophical spirit within you, so that by the end of our time here, even today in these next few minutes, you will be thinking of yourself as a philosopher. There are three ways I want to approach this today. First, I want to, of course, tell you about philosophy, but there are three aspects that really apply to life. I want to talk about how philosophy and being a philosopher enables us, empowers us to become aware of what is essentially our humanity, an aspect of our humanity, and why philosophy and being a philosopher is important for that. Secondly, I want to share with you what really we're trying to do in being a philosopher. And it all has to do with the idea of wisdom, which I will come to. And then thirdly, why that runs into the beautiful and wonderful aspect of appreciation of being alive, to being free, to seeing yourself as wild and fulfillment coming to your life. First off, let's talk about the well-known aspect of what philosophy means in 3 words. Philosophy simply means the love of wisdom. And being a philosopher, of course, is a lover of wisdom. It's an ancient Greek concept, actually. The word philosophy actually is a blend of 2 words. An ancient word for a brotherly, sisterly, familial kind of love called phileos, coupled with a very powerful word, sophos, which is wisdom. Now, you could find that out if you just go to your local webpage. It's a well-known fact. And I don't mean to just give you something that you could find out on your very own. I want to apply this to life, and that's where the goodness begins. That's where beauty is seen, and truth as well. There's a very powerful idea in being a philosopher and a lover of wisdom that elicits from something deep within our humanity. I'll go ahead and say this to you. I am convinced that we essentially are questioners, wonderers, as a species, as human beings. We look around our vast, beautiful universe and we wonder, don't we? We as children begin to question from day one. It's almost the moment we are able to sort of think and put our words together, we're questioning, we're investigating, we're thinking. And that is essentially our humanity. And it is essentially being a philosopher. A philosopher is a questioner. A philosopher is a thinker. A philosopher is a wonderer. A philosopher is a person, an individual who feasts in their souls and their minds upon the beauty of the question. But not just simply to question. It's to get to a direction. It's to find an answer, find insight to life. But it begins with a questioning. It begins with a discovery, or rather an uncovery, perhaps, of what life truly is about. It's a very exciting and passionate feeling when you have a place that you can honor that in the essentiality of your humanity. To see yourself as a species, as one who questions, as part, as literally a beautiful animal that we are, who has a soul and the mind through which we wonder, and we open up our eyes to the greatness of the wonder of the universe and nature that surrounds us, and we begin to question, what is something? Why is something? What am I looking at? And these 4 beautiful questions keep coming to us, like, who am I? Why am I here? What do I believe? What do I know? What do I value? What do I do with my life? Is there purpose in life? What is that? What is a star? What is a cloud? What is a tree? What is this world? What is beauty? What is truth? What is goodness? It's the beautiful power of a question. And it is essentially you. It's essentially me. We are questioners, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But tragically, in our world today, there are many human beings who want to take that questioning away. They're afraid of the question. And with that, they're almost afraid of life.